All right, we'll go ahead and get this one started. So, hello, if you are watching this on YouTube, what is up? I obviously got to say at the beginning, as it's what we got to do here. Consider subbing, consider liking the video, spreading that content is what we do. Today's guest, we're going to be getting into the Late Night Wiilly podcast, and we got Toriku, Trickums. You guys know him. He's got many aliases. This man has many aliases here. He does a whole lot of things here for the New World community. It's honestly awesome to be able to catch him today and to kind of be able to chat, hang out, do our thing. Honestly, it's been a long time in the making, so I'm honestly extremely excited to be able to talk to him here. He is again, big creator in the scene. And Trick, I'll go ahead and let you introduce yourself here, man.
Hey, thank you so very much, Wiilly, for letting me be here. But yeah, boys, for those of you that haven't seen me before, my name is Trick. It says Toriku on top. But for those of you that don't understand, why is if his name is Trick? Why is his, Twitch name Toriku? It's because if you were, just to explain, right? If you were to put the word trick for a Japanese national to read it, right? They would read it Toriku. Right, so it actually legit, no cap, right? So if you give it to a Japanese person to read the word trick, they will read it Toriku. So trick, Toriku, as if Japanese national will read it. I'm a big fan of the Japanese culture. I lived many years in Japan. And
yeah, I was gonna bring that up. I was gonna say you actually lived in Japan, right? Because I remember chatting with you on your stream about that.
Yeah, I did. I did live in Japan. I lived in Japan for 6 years.
That is badass. I'm not gonna lie, not to sound like one of those guys that are like, oh dude, I love Japan, I watch anime and stuff, and like Japan's super cool. But I do want to say it's kind of funny that you say that, because in high school, we were talking today, I actually took some Japanese classes and I got a lot of respect and love for the culture too. I think that it's just been super influential as well. So like I do tell my wife, if I want to go anywhere, at least like for a vacation, I want to hit Japan up. So but yeah, you were actually there for what, like military service or something like that?
Right. So yes, I joined the Marine Corps when I was 19. And so whenever you join the Marine Corps, right, they don't let you pick exactly what you want. They pretty much tell you, like, give us like a preference, right? And so you can pick like overseas, or you can pick to stay like in mainland, right, like United States. When you pick overseas, they send you to, obviously depending on the branch, because different branches have different bases in different places, right? Mm-hmm. So you pick overseas, and me being in the Marine Corps, there was only 2 choices that you could go. One was Hawaii, and the other one was Japan. Either of them were like a win-win for me. I was like, I'll take
what a dub. Yeah, what a fucking dub. You're like, I gotta pick between Hawaii and Japan?
So yeah, I remember the day that I finished the Marine Corps school, and then the guy that was giving me my orders, right, he goes like, yo, dog, I feel sorry for you. I was like, what happened? He goes like, oh, you're going to Japan. I was like, yo, let's go. I was so happy, dude.
What are you talking about? Sorry, I'm gonna be fucking banging out in Japan. This is gonna be a banger. Yeah,
hell yeah.
I'm right there with you, dude. I would have been elated. Now, obviously, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. My grandpa was in the service, and he was pretty in that. And I did talk to you a little bit about how we did that kind of charity stream and stuff. But that's kind of like the extent. I'm obviously pretty heavy into like I like watching the movies. I watch the documentaries. I watch all that stuff. But it's kind of cool that you've actually served and stuff. And I think that's awesome, because I feel like we're all like you're a streamer, you're a streamer, and a lot of people see that stuff for like the New World stuff and stuff. But I think there's a lot of, you're also a person and have a big history behind you. And I think we all do, and I think that's fucking awesome that you have that history. So I just think that's really cool, man. Really cool. But I guess already kind of getting a little off the New World topic, which is fine. But I noticed, man, are you a little tired today, dude?
My man, the stream has been going for 59 hours and 58 minutes. We're going to go to 60 hours right now. The community has been just phenomenal. So supportive, Wiilly. You know how these guys go. They go crazy.
Go ahead.
They just been bathing me with love, and everybody's just being so freaking cool. And you know, I started this journey, the subathon. Not this is the turnout has been way more than I ever imagined, right? And it's the third day. I'm like, when the shit is this gonna stop?
Yeah, low key, it's like, yo, this is awesome. Day like 5, it's that SpongeBob meme where it's like, give it up to day number 6. It's like you just start. It's like you go a little crazy there a little.
Yeah. A while back, I had like 4 hours. 4 hours ago, I had 1 hour left, and I was like, "Yo, guys, it would be dope if you guys just wouldn't sub anymore." And then like 5 minutes later, somebody goes like, "Boom,
20 bomb,
subs."
yeah, 20
like, God damn it.
Yeah, because it's like low key, you're like kidding, but low key, you're serious. It's like no, like please, like I'm dying. No, but honestly, no, it's a lot of fun. I remember whenever I first did my first 24-hour stream, you actually hit me up and you were like, "Yo, bro, make sure you drink a lot of water." Like, bro, the 24 hours is going to be fucking, it's going to be intense. You weren't kidding. I got to hour 20. But then again, you know how shoutcasting wars goes. I think I shoutcasted like 9 wars that day, and it was like by hour 20, like I think an average stream, like if you're just kind of playing and stuff, I think a 24 hours is like 100% super viable. But like, man, I'm not gonna lie, like after those shoutcasts, man, like you say, dude, I need a shower. I need a poop. Like I'm trying, bro, it's a lot, man. Like I was like 9 shoutcasts in this, dude. I don't know how I'm feeling right now.
Yeah, you wanted to shoutcast all over the world. You're like, I'm gonna go to freaking Haiti and shoutcast in Haiti. Then I'm gonna go to freaking Australia and I will shoutcast it over there. And people don't really. Sometimes don't you get hungry in the middle of a shoutcast?
Bro, look at me. I'm always fucking hungry.
Yo, like I could be streaming for 4 hours, not hungry. We start the war, and like these people are going to point B, and I was like, wow, I'm hungry all of a sudden. It's like it takes so much energy out of you. People don't understand that.
Oh no.
You get hungry, thirsty, all of a sudden you get tired. Like, wow.
Bro, I notice I'm chugging like waters throughout the wars. I'm like, I'm not trying to drink this much, man. I swear, but like, you need that kind of energy. You need that kind of like fuel for it all. It does take a lot, and it's kind of interesting though, like talking about the shoutcast and stuff. Obviously, you just hit your 1-year anniversary. Is that for Twitch?
That is not only for Twitch. That is just streaming overall altogether. I started streaming with New World, but I didn't start streaming when New World came out because New World came out like in September, right? Yeah. So I started playing the very first day. So I didn't play New World like any of the alphas or any of the betas. There was literally like a month before New World came out, and my bots and we were playing Black Desert, and we were just talking about games. And one of our friends, like, we were talking about PvP in different games, and one of the friends was like, "Have you seen the PvP in New World?" I'm like, "New World? The shit is that?" And he was like, "Yeah." He goes like, "Check out this video." And it was a war in First Light. And everything just looked so different from any other MMO that I've ever played in my life. The vegetation looked so different. And so I was like, wow, is that really the vegetation people can hide behind? And people can just disappear into the woods and you don't find them. And then I saw people in the middle of the war just chopping trees down. You remember when back in the day you could chop trees down in the middle of the war?
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like, wait, what? That guy's just chopping trees right there?
Yo, that was a legit strat almost. Like that was almost a legit strat. Like some of the wooded wars, it's like, yo, all right, call the lumberjacks. Get these motherfuckers out there. Chop the trees down. We got to see where they're rotating.
Oh, yeah, dude. Get the clear the way so I can shoot at them. And you had the guys smacking the trees. So I saw that. I was like, oh, damn, I need to try that game. So the very last beta before they released the game, like a month later, that it was just like a weekend beta. It was like a 3-day beta. I jump into New World. And Wiilly, I've been using Steam, well, very long time, since like high school and middle school and shit. And I have never in my life written a game review for like no game that I've ever played. But New World hit me in a different way that whenever I finished playing the beta, I went to Steam and I was like, this is the best game I have ever played in my life.
I'm giving this a 5-star rating. This is it got the Trickham's approval.
Yeah, and there was like, it has a couple of game-breaking bugs, but if they fix that, it'll be okay. So I don't know if you remember the pilot.
God, the bugs, dude.
Dude, the pilot was shooting everything but the person you wanted to shoot. I remember I was in front of Amrine and I was dueling a guy and the pilot was shooting the goddamn dog outside of Amrine. And I like just shoot at the guy. And then the pilot was like, nope, there's the dog for me to shoot at. And then if somebody would put like a tent nearby the pilot, the pilot would be like, wow, a tent? Let me get it. And then I was like, no, man, what are you doing?
Like, dude, focus up, damn. Yeah, I feel you, dude. I think it's funny because, you know, back in the beginning, I tell my story too, but I started playing since the release. I didn't play in beta, but as soon as the release came down, I was super into it, right? Like, I was a big World of Warcraft player, and I think you know that, man. I talk about WoW all the time. Yeah. Dude, WoW, I'm a huge WoW player. I'm addicted to WoW. I can't stop it. I still play to this day. I'm still raiding in Lich King. Like, I raid every single week. I still raid while doing my New World stuff. I literally can't help myself, bro. And like, I remember I was playing WoW, and like I said before, dude, just, you know, my brother bought me the game, and he's like, you need to play New World. I started playing. I fell in love with the PvP. I love the system, and I'm not even a big PvPer in WoW, which is kind of weird. New World just hit me in a different way with the PvP scene, and I've talked that with we've had a lot of PvP kind of focused guests here on the podcast, and it's like, that's kind of why, man. I think PvP is definitely the biggest thing about New World that definitely draws me in. I think the PvE is definitely in a good spot too. But yeah, I just think in general the PvP is so much fun, and obviously it needs a little ironing out. But I don't know. What do you think about because I want to pick your brain, man. What do you think about the direction that PvP is going right now?
Well, PvP as a sandbox in New World, right? The way that they design PvP, the combat. Let's be real. That is most, if not the only reason that most of us are still playing the game. It's not about the storyline because none of you know Isabella's last name, right? Nobody knows anything about the lore. We're a bunch of PvPers in here, and the PvP content is being, you know, dead for many, many, many months. But just because there's something about the combat that is so addicting, it's so satisfying because it's simple. And you can see everything that the enemy do, right? It's not like, wow, what did he do? You know, he just used a bunch of things. So everything is so simplified that it comes down who has honed those simple skills better. And just because they're simple doesn't mean that they don't have a high, you know, ceiling, because the way that you position yourself, you know, yeah, we only have 3 abilities, but we have the dodges, we have the blocks, we have the animation canceling. So there's a lot that goes into the PvP. So the PvP itself is wonderful. The combat is amazing, and that is the reason that probably most of us are still playing New World. Now, the direction of where it's going, I mean, I think it's good. It's gotten better. We haven't gotten the content that we want, but at least it's not as laggy as it used to be back in the day. You remember you getting hit by those ice shower, running away, and then being teleported 3 seconds afterwards to the ice shower, right?
Weapon desync too, like just your classic.
Right. The weapon swap bug that you swap to a weapon and you had the other one out, which it still happens in the game from time to time, but it's still not as bad as it used to be. But that is just like them making the game just better, right? Now, the only PvP game mechanic that they have changed in a long time is just the war rostery right now, right? The 10 mercs, the 25 mercs. And I think that is a good approach to at least start solving the problem. It's obviously not going to be the solution to the problems, but they needed to start somewhere. Everybody was saying that the shell companies were a big issue in New World, and now they did something right to try to avoid it. Obviously, a lot of people are complaining about it because it's not the result that they were expecting. But obviously, it's not the result that we're expecting, right? Because it was not done to cater them. These people are warloggers that all of they did was just participate in wars. They barely played the game other than that, right? So, and these people were also part of the problem because these people were participating in so many wars that the amount of experience that they were getting in comparison to the other people was just not even close. These people were participating in 2, 3, 4 wars a day, and then the other people obviously in none. So these people were getting ahead because being good at PvP doesn't mean you're gonna be good in wars.
Yeah,
It's a completely different monster.
Yeah, I do think though to that point though, because obviously I have a lot of those kind of guys who hang out, right? At least in my a lot of the quote unquote war loggers and stuff. And to their point, because I definitely talk about this a lot even on my stream, is and this is something that I thought of when it first came down was I was a little worried because do we have enough players that are interested even in the content? And I think we're starting to see, at least from because I obviously shoutcast a ton of wars on NA, we're starting to see a problem with the overall war qualities, like where companies just, even though like there's more opportunities for the wars to be had, there's a problem with the player base not wanting to go for these smaller companies and sign up, and actually join in of, those companies and join in those wars. So we're starting to see a lot of wars that are like 5-minute stomps, like you have a company coming in, because the way it works is you got like those 25, in-house on attackers, and it's like 40 on defenders. So you can merc out 25 as a smaller company on attack. You take that territory, and then on defense, you don't have 40 people in-house to defend. So you end up losing that territory. And then it's just 5-minute wars after 5-minute wars. And it's like, that's the thing. And it's like, I don't know whether that's a player problem. We talked about that in the last podcast with Ploj, about whether it's like, is this a problem with small companies not wanting to merge? Like, I don't know. What's your opinion on that, man? Like, what do you think might be causing that? Because it's like, I do feel like there's a lack of people interested in, signing up for a war.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Listen, if you are a small company and you want to own a territory, if you think that you're going to do it with your 20 best friends, you're so mistaken. Mm-hmm. You need a group in there. Yeah, like if you want to own any territory and you're not a company that has 50 plus people, because not everybody can be on at the same time. You need to sometimes, replace people, and you need to have competent players, right? First of all, you need a company that can fence itself without needing mercs, right? Mercs is something that you put in just to fill in the little gap that you're missing in, right? Or let's say that Billy was not able to make it to the war today. All right, let's get a merc, right? But you shouldn't be relying on mercs to win the territories and to defend the territories. Mercs should just be utilized to complete your roster. Your roster shouldn't be around the mercs. The mercs should be around your roster, right? And if you're a small company, you don't have the numbers, right? You don't have the numbers to have a full roster or a semi-full roster and then fill in the holes with the mercs. So you rely mostly on the mercs, but then, like you said, you're in the defense stance, and then they're going to destroy you. Why? Because, well, you never build that foundation. You never train your players. You depended too much on the mercs, and you never hone your skills, right? Now, as for this 5-minute wars that we're having, I think it's just too early, right? We were doing things for an entire year, right? A lot of these companies is also a trust issue. They rather, believe me, man, they'd rather not slot somebody than slot somebody that is gonna mess up their thing,
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't know, I don't want to slot those people because I just don't know them. But there's plenty of people ready to go into these wars, but they're just not war ready. So it's just too early to have a final decision. Like, yeah, I don't like this. I don't think that, let's work around it. Let's see what's going on. If after 2-3 months it's still not working out, then we can talk to the developers. Say, listen, I know that was a good approach, but that is not working out. These are the things that are happening. How can we work on this, right? You did an amazing thing to get rid of the shell company, but now it's affecting us in other ways. Maybe that was the purpose. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, no, yeah, I agree with you, man. No, I actually agree, because I do think the shell companies have been answered. I actually do think that it's definitely a lot better in that sense. But yeah, now it's like trying to answer this other question. So I can't necessarily be like super mad at the devs. I can't, you know what I mean? Like, you can't really blame it, because it's like, they're trying to, I get it. You're trying to solve a problem, and then another problem comes out from it. So you're you keep going. Like, that's part of game development. Like, you're constantly trying to fix things and get things going. So it's like, you can't really be too upset about them. But I think, for PvP in general, I think wars wouldn't be as much of a problem if there was just different outlets for PvP, dude. I've been talking so much about like a capture the flag, a couple OPR maps. I know, like, dude, I don't know if you saw the most recent video. I'm sure you did. But seeing that OPR cross server might not even come until pretty much 6 months from now, or 5 6 months from now. On top of that, on top of that, surely, I doubt we're going to be getting any OPR map. I doubt we're going to be getting any new game modes between then. So essentially to the PvP community, it feels like we got a little blackballed. You know, it's like, damn, you know, Brimstone was like, you know, super hyped for PvE and stuff, and that's great. You know, but it's like, you know, at least for the PvP community side of things, it's like, man, this is rough. You know, we're out here just doing OPRs in arenas, and wars are getting kind of, you know, I mean, look, so, you know, depending on how the companies go, I know that some people are taking breaks. You know, it's just weird. You know, it's weird for the community.
No, yeah, I completely understand, and I agree. And also, we need to point something out. Remember how last year for the roadmap, nowhere in the roadmap they say that they were going to release the hard runes, right? Nowhere in the roadmap they say that we're going to release the glass gem. And these two things, they have revolutionized the game completely. Like the wars now, the hard runes, they have such a big impact, right? The power creep with the glasses, right? With the rune glass. So those things were nowhere in the roadmap. Now we might, right? I'm not saying that we will, but I still remain hopeful. Just because you don't see anything PvP until 6-7 months from now, that doesn't mean that they might not just give us something little here and there, right? So at least remain hopeful and not give up, because the PvP community is tiny. And we cannot. Yeah, man. I don't know if you heard about the PvP tournament last night in COS.
What? No, how'd it go? No, I was streaming, man. It was sometime. You know how it goes.
No, I get you, man. Amazing turnout. The entire COS server was there.
Cool.
The entire COS server was there, dude. And
that's great for PvP, man.
Dude, and it was like hundreds of people, Willie. They were all there at the beach, and it was beautiful. And then I'm looking at all these people, and I told my chat, I was like, listen, most of these people love PvP. And right now, they would have not doing anything. They would probably just be sitting in Windsward, contemplating what to do next, because, you know, arenas, they're bored of arenas. So OPR it's not even fun anymore.
OPR, yeah.
Right. And now all of these people are here enjoying the PvP, and every single one of them were participating in one way or another. At the end of every match, everybody was like, yo, that was epic, or somebody will do a play, right? So, and that was such a good thing, right? That was such a good thing. So I'm trying to keep our small PvP family at least interactive with something. I'm planning on having like a weekly PvP tournament. Like, I'm gonna do these arenas, right?
Yeah.
And so this is the plan. All right, this is the plan. Maybe you can do this in another server, and then at the end of the month we can clash our champions, Willie. All right.
That'd be kind of cool, yeah.
So this is what I'm doing, right? I'm gonna do a tournament every week. And then the champion of that week cannot participate in the next week. All right, he's already a champion, because people get demoralized and they don't want to participate in a tournament that they know they're not gonna win, right?
Yeah.
So by eliminating the champion of the previous tournament, now that gives, you know, room for the second people to try to come in, and not only that, it gives them a week to theorycraft, to make new plans, right? And then at the end of the month, I'm gonna grab the 4 champions and I will do a tournament of champions to see who the real champion is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It creates, you know, it's creating like fun, you know, like fun incentives to PvP, to get active. You know, I think that's freaking awesome.
And something to look forward to, because that is the main thing, right? As long as you remain hopeful and you have something to look forward to, like, yo, next week, you know, we got the tournament again. We got to get ready. This guy was in the tournament the last week and he whooped our ass. How can we fight against it, right? So just keep them thinking. As long as you keep them thinking and engaged, I think that's all we need. Because really, I'm gonna tell you something myself. I've been collecting freaking lore pages in New World. That I never thought I would do in my life.
Oh God!
Yes, man. I've been PvP track 200 for like 4 months already, man. And I'm out of PvP content, right?
Oh God, dude, not like this.
Dude, I know. So, and the way that I keep myself at least enjoying the game is I keep giving myself goals, all right? I keep giving myself goals, and as long as I don't complete that goal, I don't want to quit. And it keeps me just coming back into the game and keep loving it.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think what you said there, coming back to the game and loving it, dude, I'm right there with you, because it's like, you know, that's a big part of even what I like to do over here. You know, obviously I'm shoutcasting wars. I do play a lot as well when I can. You know, obviously I got a big fam, so it's hard for me to get a ton of hours in, but you know, I love the PvP, man. That's it. You know, a lot of us at the end of the day do love the game. Now, obviously, you know, I don't know about you. I don't know obviously what your situation is, but I support my fam off the stream and stuff. So it's really badass too to kind of have that with it, right? You know, it's kind of like a double. It's like, you know, not only am I trying, you know, not only only am I putting a lot of heart and passion into what I do, but I'm also able to support my friggin' family off the stream. And obviously, you know, changing my whole life last year. Ironically enough, man, you said that you started your stream up, I believe it was like just just a day or so ago, a couple days ago. Dude, only 2 months from now, I started mine up. You know, like literally, I started my stream up, what is it, March 24th. So I'm right around the corner too for my 1 year. And I just want to say, I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool that, I know that last year was probably a big year for you and a big year for me. You know, I think that's awesome. You know, just being in the position that I'm in. I mean, I don't know how it's like streaming and like kind of, blowing up to a degree affected your life, man. You know, how has it changed?
No words, man. You know the same thing that I know, and we don't even know how this happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year we were not doing this. And the crazy thing is, last year we were not thinking about doing this. This is something I wasn't thinking about doing this. So the story, how I started streaming. So I started playing New World the day that it came out, right? And I've always played the mage class. Always. I have played the fire staff. I have never let go of the fire staff. And I really like the PvP. I was super into the PvP, well, as you know, right? And then the first war started happening. And I'm a sweaty player, so I was around level 50 whenever the first war started happening. So obviously I was gonna get picked for those. You remember, right?
Oh yeah. I'm level 40. I'm level 40. Pick me. Yeah, yeah. I was that too. I was doing the same shit.
So yeah. So the first war that I participated in was level 54, and as a level 54, obviously back then there was no meta. Nobody knew. Everybody just went into the wars to have fun. So everybody was in the biggest possible club, just smashing keys.
Jump on the point.
Yeah. You're just killing people all over the place. And so since everybody just wanted to be in the middle of the clumps, the mages were having a blast. The mages were back there like, yo, this is so fun. Pew, pew,
wow, I'm the best because they're just sitting there not getting touched, just absolutely pumping the clump. Like nobody is touching these guys. Like everybody's looking at the scoreboard like, damn, dude, this guy is insane.
Yeah, just like that, man. Just like that. I was breaking the records, dude. Like people were like, oh my God, is he level 85 or something? And so the first war that I did, I think I did like 20% more damage than the second place, and people were like, okay, goddamn. And
we need this man.
Yeah, somebody from a company sent me an invite. And I joined like, supposedly like a good company that they already like played the beta, the alphas, and they know the stuff. So they picked me up and I worked with them for like the next 2 months. And really every single war as a fire mage, right? Obviously, back in the day, we were just pumping numbers. It was just ridiculous. I was just about I was getting an insane amount of kills. Was like, no resilient, no fire protection, nothing, right? And everybody back then was just slotting physical damage gems. Because everybody was physical. So I was getting kills like 20, 30, 40 kills per war, insane amount of damage. And every single war, I will get a bunch of PMs. Yo, how do you do that? Yo, how do you pull those numbers? Yo, what abilities you using? What gear are you using? And that was every single war. And one day I was like, yo, what if I start streaming just to show people, because it's way better just to show people what I'm doing instead of just answering PMs all day after I'm done with the war, right? And then somebody in the company goes like, I'll watch. And then another one goes like, I'll be your mod. And I was like, well, that's all I need, a moderator.
All right, we got the team.
Yeah, that's it.
We got the viewer, we got the mod. We're starting up.
Yes. So I went on a vacation. To Dominican Republic. And I told my wife, I was like, listen, I'll probably start doing this thing when I get back and see what happens. Back then I had a day job. I used to work from 10 in the morning to 7 in the evening, right? Mm-hmm. And I would stream only part-time because obviously I didn't want I needed some sleep. But I liked it so much, really, the same way you liked it. And people that have never done this, there's such a weird feeling about streaming, but it's so freaking addicting. It's come to the point that if you're not streaming, all you're thinking is, I want to stream.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
You're
100%, dude. Like, yeah, it's constantly in the back of your head, man. You're like, dude, I just, I want to pop on stream right now. I want to stream this game, even if it's not even your main content. You're like, dude, it'd be cool if I talked to some of the homies while I was streaming. It's like, it's definitely the case, man. It's like, it's definitely. Also, though, I will say personally, I don't know about you, but it feels like sometimes when I'm not streaming games, it almost doesn't have the same hit. I don't know. It doesn't have the same feeling.
It's just that you're playing it differently. Whenever you play it for stream or whenever you're playing for yourself, it's just completely different. It's like a different game. It's like a different feeling vibe. But yeah, have you called your family chat yet?
Have I what?
Have you called your kids or your wife chat?
Oh, dude. Yeah, I mean, yeah, dude. I'm always asking. I'm always coming up to the wife. I'm just saying Keck W, asking if she's gonna gift me subs. Dude, I'm just, I'm just wondering what's going on. No, yeah, no. It's funny though. You do go in a world like, dude. Streaming really is its own thing, and it's funny because you have a lot of because I was a very well-known player, but I was mostly known for my shot calling, and just like you, in a way, it was kind of like I was obviously I started up and I was just shot calling so many wars, and I was known from servers just naturally from being like, oh, you got to be in a Wiilly war. This guy's shot calling like a maniac, like, and that's where my start came in. I shot called over hundreds of wars, and people were like, dude, Wiilly is a beast. You have to get into those wars. And at some point, I was running faction missions with my company, and they were like, dude, you should totally stream you shot calling a war. I would because like obviously you can't slide by in your company even if you wanted to, but they wanted to kind of like Discord wasn't enough. They wanted to kind of experience it, somehow else. And I was like, well, okay, I guess I'll turn the stream on, man. I guess I'll turn it on and, I'll try and get it down. And it's funny because I ended up going to Pluto. And I had a couple normal war streams, stuff like that. And honestly, I mean, I had a lot of people in the chat. People were, obviously a lot of my company, stuff like that, but it wasn't nothing crazy. And I remember the very first time I reached out, to my knowledge, nobody was really doing it at the time. I didn't, to my knowledge, nobody was really doing it. So I reached out in the first war because I couldn't be in this big war that was happening. It was between Take Care and Modern at the time. And nobody was like, I couldn't get in there. I tried, I begged the both sides. I'm like, yo, slap me, man. And they won it. So I'm like, well, damn it, I'm going to see. So I messaged, because you always see people, saying like, hey, I'm streaming this. Catch catch me over here. So I reached out to Twinkie was my first person I reached out to. I was like, hey, man, I've never really done this before, but like, do you mind if I shoutcast kind of over your POV? Like, I don't know how it's going to turn out, but like, it could be a lot of fun. Like, I don't know. So he's like, yeah, sure. So I ended up doing that. And dude, that's how it all started. I mean, it kind of started a whole revolution on Twitch at the time. I mean, I know that I found out after I started shoutcasting, there was only one other person. His name was NSV. He was the only other person that was doing it. And I didn't even know that he was doing it. I swear. And I was like, oh shit. Like, man, I don't want to like, he was doing it on a different server, but I was like, damn, I don't want to like, seem like I'm jacking his style. So I actually ended up going in his chat and I'm like, I was kind of listening and I was like, okay, he's not like talking shit or anything. I'm like, dude, I started feeling bad. I'm like, dude, I swear to God. I was like, I swear to God, I didn't know you were doing this. And it is what it is. But the thing is, he actually did. I don't know what it was. Something came up, but obviously I don't know about his own life, right? I barely knew the guy, but he did kind of stop pretty quickly. It seemed like he was kind of hot and cold with it. But like for me though, like I mean, I was a stay-at-home dad. Like I've been a stay-at-home dad, and I don't necessarily come from a lot, so like I was super pumped. I was like, dude, this could be my shot. Like this could really be my shot. And it's like I've tried a lot of things in life, and I was just super pumped. So shoutcasting, it kind of started a meta, and I know that you ended up getting into it too, because I know that actually at one point I shoutcasted over your POV once before. Shoot. Yeah, I remember I shoutcast. I don't even know if you do that, but I actually shoutcasted a couple times over your POV because people were coming in. They're like, yo, there's a COS war. You should catch it. Because I was hearing a lot of buzz about Just Business. And they're like, you should catch this war. And I was like, man, I don't know anybody streaming it, dude. I'm not in COS. Like I don't want to. And they're like, yo, you should check Trick out. And I'm like, all right, dude, I'll check it out. So, yeah, I mean, I remember casting over you at one point, man. And then what happened?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, yeah, I was just going to ask kind of transition. Probably what you were going to talk about is, was there any inspiration from my cast? Because I know eventually you started going to shoutcasting too.
I was casting before I knew you were casting. I was casting my own wars because I was in every war and I didn't have any camera or anything back then. And I was playing as I was, and if anybody that is here from old school COS, right? They would know that I was talking in third person. So I will be playing the game, but talking as if I was watching me play. And I was like, look at what he's doing. Oh, he's using a fireball now. Oh,
Yeah.
he's turning around. What is he going to do? And I will yell at my own character. And I will have a full-on blow conversation with my character. And people, I remember I will be walking around Winsward, and people will be like, you know, Trick, and then somebody will be like, oh, that's the guy that speaks in third person. Yeah, that was me. So I was casting my own wars, and that's how I made it. And my first month of, obviously I had only had like, you know, 14 concurrent viewers, 10 concurrent viewer. But whenever I started doing the wars, I will get to like 150, 200 people, and then people will be like, "Oh my God, your energy!" I was like, "What the hell?" And then
that energy comes from passion. I don't think anybody can just do it.
dude.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I don't think anybody can do it. You have to be passionate about the game.
100%. So, and then after the wars, because I wanted to do stream, like I really liked it. So I was after the wars, I would then undo my own content, like elite trains, you know, dueling and stuff like that. And then I started, I started to notice that you just kept going at it. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, I'm gonna check him out. And that's how I met you one day, because you started coming into COS, you know, like, hey, your boy Wiilly, let's get this war, let's get it. And I was only casting my wars because just the wars that I was being part of. I wasn't doing the whole shout casting thing. But you went full. That's what you did. You were all right. I'm gonna do wars, and wars what I'm gonna do. And I even talked to my wife. I was like, this guy nailed it. This guy hit it right on the head. It was like I talked to my, because you know we talk to our wife. Those are like
of course,
our best
dude. My
friends,
wife is
right?
my wife is my life partner for a reason. You know, she's my confidant.
Dude.
You know,
and so I was like, yo, he hit it. I was like, I was getting over 200 people casting this, you know, just in my wars. But then at the moment that the wars were over, lose every single one of those because they were not loyal viewers. They were just there for the war and the little content, right, that we were giving to them. Plus, it was very fresh. It was early in the game. But then I noticed, I was like, wow, Wiilly's doing every war. That's fucking genius. That's fucking crazy, right? That is so freaking cool. And so I was doing my wars. And but I was casting it, and I really liked it. I really liked it. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Wiilly. Whenever you first started coming to my server, I was like, "Yo, you're my turf, dog."
Hey, yeah, I can feel it a little. You know, that's okay. The thing is, look, I'm a real dude. I get it. I like to think I am. Look, not to like toot my own horn. I'm a real person. I understand everybody's got their hustle. Everybody's got their grind. You know, I totally understand that, because like I get it, man. I mean, you know, it's kind of like, damn. You know, who's this guy? You know, like that's kind of the vibe. So like, I totally understand, and that's why, like, you know, even whenever people have been like casting and stuff and all that, it's like I've never been the type of person, even though like, you know, I've never been the type of person to like show any ill will or animosity or anything like that. You know, like, because at the end of the day, I swear, I know it sounds corny, and I'm not just saying it. I really am for the community. So as long as people in the community are happy and everybody's having fun and with New World and stuff, I think that's a dub for me, you know, because like, I mean, as long as people are having fun and they're excited to be here, I really do think that that's kind of the biggest thing. So obviously it's awesome that I've been able to do this. But yeah, I do find it funny. There is that kind of like, you know, competitive, you know, kind of like, bro, what's going on? You know, that kind of competitiveness, because it's a game out here, bro.
It is.
It's a game. And look, I'm not going to lie. I got to be honest. I got to transition to this. I do know that, are you in betting now? Because some people in the chat were saying you were. What's it looking like? Because I don't know, you know, because I want to talk to you about the embedding conversation, because we know that, I mean, I'm sure you saw it too. I mean, we chatted a little bit about it. I mean, you know, the poor Baggins got roasted. I feel so, first off, I feel so bad for Baggins. I feel like Baggins was so caught just like, poor dude got all of the heat. Yeah, dude, deer in the headlights, dude. Homie gets caught with all the heat, and I'm just like, oh man, poor, like, I know there's others doing it, and it's like, poor Baggins was just like caught in it. But I do want your opinion on all that, man. And you know, I kind of, some people were saying that you were, and look, no, again, no ill will. I want to get your opinion, man.
That very good. Yeah, we're gonna go on that one. But let's finish the previous one.
Yeah.
I want to finish the previous one. So because so I noticed that you were doing that. And let me tell you to finish the story. How is that I got into streaming, right?
Okay, I got
so
you. Yeah,
I got the day job. All right, I had the day job, and I started streaming. So I will stream from like 9 p.m. I would take like a little nap after work, and then I'll wake up like around 9, and then stream until like 4 or 5 in the morning. And then at 5 in the morning, I
yeah.
will go
You
to
used to
bed.
have a late shift.
Oh yeah, I was streaming in demon hours, dude. There was really, when I was streaming, there was only 300 people watching New World.
Dude, I know.
Dude, 300 people, dude, and I had like 120, and then the second place was like 14, and it was like, oh my god,
What the hell's going on here, man?
yeah, what the shit is happening here, man? So, and I started to like it. I started to like it so freaking much that one day, I told to my wife, I was like, listen, I cannot do this anymore. I cannot be sleeping 4 hours a day. And I live streaming. I love streaming like I have never loved anything, like any other job, because I've never had a job that whenever I'm not doing it, I want to be there. Forget about it. Like if when I'm done work, skadoodles, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I'm itching to leave.
Yeah, they call me and say, oh, I'm already on my 3rd beer, dog. I cannot come back. Right? So I knew that was it, because whenever I was not doing it, it was like, I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to do it. So I told my wife, I was like, listen, I need to know how much we need to make a month to survive. I want the bare minimum. I don't want, and she did, Wiilly. She did the math, and she was like, all right, this is how much we need for food, for rent, and for everything.
It's exactly what we did, bro.
And I was like, I'm gonna do it. So I quit my day job that same day, and I started streaming. I kept streaming during those demon hours, right? Because that's where I have my community. That's where I have my schedule pretty much built in. And eventually, then you started coming into the COS and stuff like that. And I gave it a lot of thought. I was like, how can we make this work? Because I knew you had a family. I knew you had a wife. Back then, your 3rd baby was not even out. It was in the belly.
Yeah,
still,
that's
right?
true. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would think about you. I would think about you because you were my competition. You know that I'm
Well,
just,
of course.
like you said, right? Being real.
It's a game,
But
bro.
just because you were my competition, I didn't want to compete with you, because I knew that out of this competition, one of us was not going to do as well, right? So I needed I needed to find a way out to make us both grow. And I was like, listen, I already have a EU community. What if I leave the nighttime for Wiilly, and I go and move into the daytime, and that will be just perfect. I covered the PvP zone during the day in Europe, and then Wiilly covers the PvP zone at night in
It's been
NA.
great for you too, by the way. Like, it's been
worked
insane.
perfect for the both of us.
Yeah, real shit though. It really has.
Yeah, that was because you had your night community, your NA community, and I had my European community, and we both grew at a decent, good rate. Because let's be real, we are very, very privileged to be where we are right now. Right? Like,
Oh, yeah, 100%,
99% of the streamers
Yeah.
don't even do a fraction of where we are in the first year. So we are extremely privileged, and I am just glad that we put because we were competitors, right? I didn't want to see you as like an enemy or anything like that. So I am glad that after we pretty much got our own schedules, we started working on our feelings a little better, right? I started rating me, and I started rating you. I was like, oh shit, we started building now more of like a family instead of trying to be enemies. And that was one of the best things that ever happened, because then I started liking you, and I started to see your content, right? Yeah, because before you were my competition.
Yeah.
And whenever you were in that competition, then I was like, okay, I want to watch Wiilly. Let me see what he's up to. And I'm pretty sure you did the same, because you will come to the EUs during the day. You're like, yo, what's popping, And I was like, yo, Wiilly, what's going on? And that was so nice. That interaction between you and me was just so nice that, well, it led to this point in time right now here where we are.
Well, yeah, to be honest, man, I did look at it that way, but also, like, I don't know. I feel like it is part of, like, I never really expressed anything like that personally, because, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I don't know, maybe it's just me being somewhat humble or whatnot. I just feel like I'm lucky for anything. I feel like life has such a weird ass way in working. So I feel like if for some reason my ship were to crash tomorrow, it is what it is. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but I have to live my life like that because, like, dude, you never know what happens. But I do agree. I think that pivot was pretty awesome. And I think, I mean, obviously, I think it was great for the New World community as a whole as well. I mean, I don't know about you, but I feel like we share a lot of common viewers. And I feel like, you know, whenever you get off, people like to come to my channel, and whenever I get off, people obviously people going to your channel. I have people coming in all the time, and it's pretty cool. So I don't know, I think it's really good at the end of the day, but I think also in general it's always better if you work together. In my opinion, I think working together is always so much more beneficial than working against, in my opinion, man. But yeah, for sure, I mean, obviously I think it's at a good path and I think it's at a good rate, but I do think in general the streaming scene is interesting, and I know you do kind of have a little bit more of that kind of competition throughout the day. And maybe, and again, obviously I'm not trying to press you about the embed, but that is true. I mean, you do have a lot more competition throughout the day. I mean, whenever you're on the day, there are a lot of other streamers who are embedding at that time. Like, that's just the facts.
Oh, dude, I love it. Yo, you have no idea. I love it. So I had a game plan. All right, I had a game plan. I was like, I'm going to get to know all of the people that are in the top during the day, because the big New World streamer, they were all during the day, right? You got Danny, you got Baggins, you got Bordy, you got Red Bear, yeah, right? You name it, right? And I was like, I want to actually interact with these people, be in the same schedule. I want to be whenever somebody goes into the directory, they see this name next to each other, right? I want to be familiarized with this group of people. I don't want to have thousands of viewers. I just want to have enough, so I'm at least in the same view. And
a lot of them are cool too, though. Like, I actually like a lot.
All
those guys are really cool. Yeah,
all of them are amazing, dude.
Yeah,
all of them are amazing. So I started going to the stream because obviously, as myself, a new streamer, I have no idea what I'm doing. So I wanted to learn how they, just interact with the community, how they just do things. We all do it. We're not like we just invent things. We pretty much, everybody copies from everybody. If everybody, you learn something from a friend of yours, but for somebody else that's completely new, and then that person uses it on somebody, and we just copy each other, and that's how we live, right? Sometimes we do make unique things, but then that is what brings us a little bit, to the top.
Yeah.
But you're just taking good samples from all the people and applying it to your daily routine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just you becoming better, right?
Yeah.
And in the process of me doing this, I was like, oh my God, these people just super chill, super friendly, and amazing. And they were not competitive. They were not like super big on PvP or anything like that. Dan, if you're watching, you're horrible in PvP. But there was something else about them, right? That kept the community just there. And I was like, wow, this is just something else. It's not always about being the best. It's not always about being number one. Actually, just being chill with the boys, it's more important than any of that. Yeah. And I started to actually get to know these people. And the good thing is, since they live over there in the European zone, it's late for them whenever I was like kind of starting. So they will finish, and then a lot of their viewers wanted to go to, who do we go to? Of course, right? And then it kind of like cascade towards the next person, and then towards the next person, towards the next person. And then eventually I will get a little of those sprinkles of waters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometime, dude, I was doing my first 24-hour, and Danny rated me with like 3,000 people.
That's nuts.
Because he was getting off. I was streaming during the day, and that was such a big day for me, because I was like, Danny, I seen your stream. You don't know who I am, right? I know you have a blue background. You're amazing. Thank you so much. And that was just such a meaningful thing to me. So yeah, having those strong, big people in front of me, it actually was something that helped grow my channel, because whenever they were getting off, they usually would send the love to somebody else. And we got a little bit of that love eventually, and it helps us grow. And eventually we became friends. We became friends to the point that me and Baggins, we're starting our own podcast. We've been working on this for a very long time, and tomorrow is our pilot episode.
Oh, really? Okay, that's crazy. Hey, look,
Yeah.
hey, that's awesome though. Hey, maybe I can be a guest on it, man. You know, look, that'd be pretty cool.
100%.
It'd be pretty cool to chat with both of you guys.
What you have is super unique, though. Keep doing this. This is you, Willie. This is you. Late night Willie. This is such a freaking smart idea. Once again.
Well, for me, for me, it's a lot of, you know, obviously, I think more of a real talk, right? You know, more of a real talk. Like, I don't really, you know, and also a lot of people in New World too, not just like streamers and stuff. Like, we've had a lot of people coming in from like certain companies and things like that. And it's like being able to have that kind of like conversation with some of these company leaders and things like that. I feel like it's so cool for the community to be able to kind of get to know some of these guys. They're, you know, they're not like big streamers, you know, they're not like, you know, some of these other people who kind of have, you know, an audience that, you know, it's like they hear these guys' names. Like, for instance, we call it like Gladsworth and Kilash, you know, a lot of people in the community know them, but like maybe we should, you know, dive a little deep, you know, and kind of talk to them and talk about like that. So yeah, it's been pretty cool, man. Yeah, it's honestly been a lot of fun.
I love it, dude. The other day I went to pick up my wife, and when I picked her out, she goes like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Oh, that's Wiilly podcast." And she goes like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just listening to him." And I like it. I was driving and I was enjoying you listening to you in the background, and you were talking to Glassworth and just the topics that you guys go over. And you know, I watch all of them. With the one with the plush was very, very, very interesting as well. And I love the
plush is awesome, dude.
Yeah, plush is so fun, and the questions that you asked, they were very, 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 very good questions as well. And I'm telling you, I fell in love with this show, dude. I fell in love with this show that after watching the plush, I was like, oh shit, I want to get in there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's kind of just, you know, again, like a conversation. You know, I think it's really cool. We're all, like I said, real people, and I think that's important. I think it's so easy to kind of get caught up in the light of everything. You know, it's like I just want to talk to people real, and obviously have those big New World conversations too, man. Like, I mean, the New World is obviously the game that it's like the glue. You know, it brings us all together here in the community, and it's really cool to be able to talk, just kind of talk to a lot of people, talk about it, and just kind of talk about like the wars, the PvP, even the PvE. Even though I'm not a big PvEer, you know, still talking about the PvE conversation, talking about the PvP in general. So yeah, I don't know. I do want to ask, and obviously I don't want to derail a little bit from the convo, but I kind of want to ask about what do you think if you had to pick a weapon to come into the game, what would it be? Because I know there's conversations about like a celestial gauntlet or things like that. I have my own opinions on that, but what do you think, man? What do you think? Like, if you had to pick one weapon to come in the game,
one weapon to come in the game, daggers.
Daggers, really? Okay, so more decks.
Oh yeah. But all right, but listen, it's gonna be an anti-healer. All right.
Okay.
Ready? Yeah. No. Obviously, we don't know which weapons are coming next, and we pretty much say what we want to say, right? And a lot of people are like, "Oh, I want a freaking lightning maze or whatever," you know. So, you know, as you say, we're WoW players, right? And the very first class that I ever played was a rogue.
Oh shit! So you're naturally inclined into the daggers.
Mage, as a matter of fact, really, I've been playing games for like over 20 years, and none of the MMOs that are Korean MMO, Chinese MMO, all types of MMOs, right? I never in my life ever touched a single mage class. Never, ever. It was always the rogue or the assassin, the rogue or the assassin. Dude, in Archer Valley, I was Alliance, right? We will start the Archer Valley, and I will go to the other side of the map. And I don't know if you remember the Horde, they needed to jump like a little ledge before they got into the Alliance and kill the ice mage that she was in there. So I will get into that little ledge right there, and I will wait for the last person. And when the last person will come, boom, zap him. And I was like, I'm gonna wait until everybody leaves. And they'll be like, fuck you.
I'm assuming you were Horde, right?
No. Like I said, I was Alliance.
Oh yeah, my bad. I missed that, dude. That's awesome. Look, I get a lot of people that give me shit for being an Alliance Andy. So look, I'm out here supporting a fellow Alliance brother, man. I get so much shit for it.
So the reason I was playing Alliance, right? It was just because every man for himself. That shit was busted.
That's true. Yeah, getting out of the stun, that's true.
Yeah, in Wrath of the Lich King, especially as a rogue, having 2 DPS trinkets and having just a stun trinket just by being a ratio, it was a no-brainer, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm picking that thing. And then every man for himself got super nerfed, you remember?
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, so it pretty much just went to poo-poo, and then all the Horde got all the great passives.
Yeah, so I went to Horde immediately. I was like, okay, well, that's it. That's And I went and I played on Dead for like 4 years.
Yeah, oh, dude, of course. Were you an undead rogue?
Yes, dude.
Oh,
Amazing.
no.
The best ones, man.
I
So
knew
good.
it. I
What
knew
class
it.
did you play? You played Paladin, right? You
I
were
was
like
a
Paladin
human
person.
paladin, bro.
Of course you were. You were
I
out there with
know.
the shield and the hammer and the pink hair.
I know, dude. Look, it's so fitting. It's so fitting. I'm a human paladin. You're an undead rogue. It's so fitting, dude. I love it, dude. I absolutely love it, man. Yeah, WoW shaped. WoW has shaped my whole life, man. Like WoW has really done a big number on my life. I remember playing it back in '06, and I could not stop playing it, man. It was just really good. So yeah, it's awesome to see. But so I will say, what if you had to pick one game, man? What was the game that kind of just like, I am now a gamer? You know, mine had to be RuneScape. But what was like your game that you played? You were
Whoa.
like, this is it.
So I was, funny enough, I was talking to my wife about this a while back, that whenever I was a kid, so I had a console, I had a Nintendo 64 since I was like 5 years old. But I still enjoy playing outside with my friends more than playing in the console, right? Like the console, my brothers, they will play it. But me as a kid, I will be outside, playing games with my friend all day. As my friends started to grow up, because, we were a big circle of friends and different ages, right? So as the older kid started, just leaving the neighborhood started like thinning out, right? And now they here are on the weekends and there's just not that many people to play with. I was like, you know what? I should probably give this Nintendo 64 a try. Let me see what this is all about.
Oh, the 64.
And the very first cassette that I put in there was Zelda Ocarina of Time. And
Oh,
when that screen opened and it goes like, doo-doo-doo-doo, and the music, and you see the horse running in the background, and you see Link on top
You
of
hear
it, it's
that
like,
music? Yeah.
Yo, that music still gives me chills to today's, man. And I was like, yo, and then you started do 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 do, and and then you have the little fairy goes like, hey, listen, and I was like, wow, I don't know what that means. Yeah, I didn't speak English, Wiilly. So I was born in
What's she
Cuba.
saying? Yeah.
I was born in Cuba. And so we had this Nintendo 64, so I didn't speak a word of English, and now I'm playing this game over here, Zelda Ocarina of Time. I was like, what the shit am I supposed to do? I don't know what that fairy's saying. What am I supposed to do? And I just got out of the house, and I don't know. Did you play Ocarina of Time, Wiilly?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I played the shit out of it.
Oh, dude, you remember that whenever you get out, they give you like a 3D view, like of the entire
Oh yeah,
town.
it gives you that whole layout.
Yeah, the whole layout, and I was like, oh wow, this is beautiful. And I just lost myself in that little starting zone right there, and I was like, wow, gaming is not that bad at all. So I was still not super big on it, and then I tried GoldenEye. And the music of GoldenEye, I was like, yo, 007. Did you ever play that?
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah, I was a Nintendo 64 fiend, dude. I was playing GoldenEye.
Yes,
I was playing like every early Mario Party. I was playing Mario 64. I was playing all of it. Like,
Yo, Mario 64 was the shit, dude.
100%, bro.
Yo, that was amazing. So that was what you basically put me into gaming. That Nintendo 64. It took me like many years to beat Zelda Ocarina of Time, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And then my parents made a huge mistake on trading the Nintendo 64 for a PS1.
Oof.
I know, dude.
Oof.
I know. So we had a couple of CDs. It was a lot easier to get the CDs than get the cassettes, because the CDs you could burn them, right? You could get any game you wanted. You get a blank CD, you will burn the game. That's it. With a cassette, that was not the case.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you had the cassette, you're not playing the game. So we traded that, and I remember that one of the first game that we got was Crash Bandicoot. And really, I will wake up like at 5 in the morning before I go to school and just put you remember the 3 plugs for the TV, the yellow, the red, and the blue?
RGB, baby. Yeah.
Oh, RGB. Yeah. So I would disconnect the audio one so my mom wouldn't hear it, and I would be playing Crash Bandicoot for like 2 hours before I needed to go to school.
Crash, Twisted Metal, and Mortal Kombat. I think all 3 of those were just absolutely goated. Like, I just played the hell out of those. So yeah, I'm right there with you, man. Dude, I played a lot of PS1, and then it eventually transitioned into a little bit of like PS2. But really, honestly, like I played a lot of that growing up. But man, when it really got to the Xbox 360 plus, I was fortunate enough at the time. Unfortunately, life happened, and a lot of this stuff got stripped away. But at the time, I was fortunate enough to have a 360, and I was playing RuneScape. So I was playing RuneScape, and I was playing Halo 3 and like Call of Duty and stuff. And I think it's funny because that's what kind of started this. Like, I'm a huge MMO player, but I can wreck on some for FPS too. You know what I mean? Like, and it's that upbringing, you know. I would get my MMO fix on RuneScape and World of Warcraft, and then like I'd hop off because my brother wanted to play RuneScape, and he hops on, and then I'm playing Halo 3. You know what I mean? Like, that's just kind of where it all kind of started for me, man. Just like that transition. It was a lot of fun.
You asked me, right? So my gaming started with those games out there, but whenever I got to the States is when I got addicted to a different type of gaming, and that was online gaming, Willie. Like you said, right?
Yeah, dude.
Yo, so the first game that I ever played online was Warcraft 3. I love all of the Warcraft. I played Warcraft 1, Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3,
Warcraft 3
Horde
was so
versus
goated.
Alliance. Dude, Reign of Chaos. So I came to the United States, right? And like I said, I didn't speak any English, right? So I would go to GameStop, and I would be like, do you have Reign of Chaos? And I was like, they were like, what are you saying, kid? I was like, come on, man, you don't understand what I'm saying. I'm saying it perfectly clear. And then eventually I learned a little more English. I was like, oh, so you don't pronounce it shh, because CH in Spanish is shh, right? Not like chaos, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, I've been saying it wrong the whole time. So I got myself, you know, Warcraft 3, Reign of Chaos. Whenever I played my first online gaming, I got super carried by the other guy. The other guy beat the shit out of the other two people, but there was such an exhilarating feeling, like, oh my God, we can beat people online. This is so amazing. And that changed my whole life. After that, I was never able to touch a single player game or a game that I couldn't compete with other people.
I'm right there with you, dude. The online gaming, you hit it on the head, man, because like that is 100% the truth. Because once I started getting that feel of beating people online, it was just like, I'm not really into like the Oblivions. Like, I'm not really like, I played them. You know, I'll do like a playthrough, but I'm not like those kind of guys. You know, I'm like growing up, your friends that would be like, I'm only playing single players. Like, I was always get me in there, let me shoot, you know, let me fight other people online. I want to be the best, you know, like that was always kind of like the mentality for me. So yeah, dude, I'm right there with you, bro.
Yeah, 100% a different feeling. Super, super different feeling.
Yeah, and it's awesome, and it's obviously really cool to see that it's kind of all it's all came down back to New World, you know, like we have all these paths that kind of have like different games and different things like that, and it's like it all transitions back here to New World, you know, right? And it's like here we are, you know, kind of coming from way different walks of life, and yet somehow living a very similar one in a way, you know, like I just think there's something really poetic and awesome about that in general. I think it's only made by the internet and obviously the community that brings us here, man.
The culture, man. It's
true.
It's a culture.
100%.
By the way, the Wiilly beard is growing back, baby.
Dude, I'm trying out here, bro. I'm trying. I mean, look, it was an insane last month, man, but I do miss the beard. I'm not going to lie, but I don't know. We'll have to see. I might trim up the bottom, get rid of this neck beard look, and maybe just keep a little bit. I don't know. It's going to take a long time. That beard, even though it was scraggly and bad, that thing took 3 years, bro. That took 3 years. I know. It's so.
It was a part of you, Willie.
Dude, I know. And it wasn't even the best. Like, I know some people are like, 3 years, I grow that in like 5 months. I get it. I get it. But I know. You know what I mean?
You don't know what I need to go through.
Yeah, I went through 3 years of this. So yeah, I think it's funny because like I don't have those kind of cheats. But really just bringing it all full circle. It's been pretty awesome, man. And obviously being able to chat with you has been really friggin' cool. I don't want to hold you up any longer than you already are.
Listen. I'm having a blast. We can keep on talking all night.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I just know you're on a super long subathon.
I don't care, dude. Let's keep on going. If I'm already this far, plus we don't get to do this very often, and I don't know the next time that I will get to talk to you. And you were asking questions. So yeah, go for it. Ask me any question you want, brother.
Yeah, dude. Really, I mean, honestly, we kind of talked about a lot of it. I mean, I guess you know, kind of just. I know we kind of talked about the life as a streamer. How is? I forgot to ask. You know, do you have any kiddos? Like, I know you say you got a wife. Do you have any kiddos?
I do. I got a boy.
Nice, man. What's his name, if you don't mind me asking, dude? If you want to
Ashen.
give it out.
Yeah, no, no worry. Actually, his name is Little Trick Trick.
That's his legal name.
Yeah, if you go to the paper, it says Little Trick Trick.
Little Trick Trick, dude. I love it.
No, man. And his first name is Ashen, like Ash, and then En at the end, like Ashen. You know, like
Ooh,
the
that's
color.
sick, bro.
Yeah, and his middle name is Sky. So like Ashen Sky. Probably one day I was high in the balcony. I was like, wow, look at this guy. It's great. Ashen Sky. Nailed it.
This is a beautiful name. Yeah.
It's a beautiful name. Reminds me of the dark clouds.
nice and like sentimental with it, real deep. Like I feel bad. It's kind of like when I get tattoos and stuff. Like people are always like, oh man, it's gotta have a deep meaning. It's like kind of with like kids' names. That's kind of like the same outlook. People are always like, where's it come from? Like my oldest is named Desmond, and I literally got it off of Lost. I don't know if you ever seen that TV show, but I'm like, one of the characters in that show's name was Desmond, and he was a cool ass character. I'm like, yeah, Desmond, that sounds good. Like the wife liked it, I'm just like, sure. Like I don't know. Yeah, dude, I don't know. I guess that's kind of like how I personally like live my life, dude. I just kind of send things. Like I got a lot of crazy tattoos. Like I got like a tattoo of an alien, things like that. And people are always like, why a dragon on the chest? Like why I have a DJ alien on my leg? Like they're like, why is this alien in a DJ booth? I'm like, I don't know. I thought it looked dope. I can't explain it, dude. It's just how I live my life, dude. I just fucking send it. I don't know.
It's because people probably don't understand that your tattoos it's not like it's a full story. It's just chapters of your life.
Exactly, bro. Like I remember, like every tattoo, I'm sitting here like I remember where I was at that point in life. I remember where I was. I remember kind of, and it's funny because tattoos really can be therapeutic, man. Like when I got my chest piece, dude, it was in 3 different sessions, but man, I was going through so much in life. You know what I mean? Like it was rough, dude. It was rough. It was like it kind of started like ironically kind of when the pandemic, like I started it. And then the pandemic hit, and then it was like, I mean, pandemic hit everybody in different ways, and it hit me in a totally different way, and it was like, and it's like it just slowly, like you're just getting this tattoo, getting this chest piece will always remind me of kind of those times. You know what I mean? Just like it is kind of chapters in life, man. It really is, dude. I love my tattoos though, even if they aren't like, this one's for my grandpa, this one's for my, this one's for my mom. Like no, like this one's a cool dragon, but like it means a lot.
Yeah. They don't need to be like super like meaningful, like in depth. It's like, no, man. One day I saw a lizard, I was like, yo, it'd be cool if that lizard would be on my chest, something like that. It's like it's just and if you like it, that's it. Nobody needs to like it. It's you. It's as long as you feel good with it, right? Because if you don't like it, that's the worst thing, having a tattoo that you don't like.
Yeah, I guess one thing, and I'm checking my notes here. One thing I did forget to ask him, kind of talk about, and I feel bad if we were getting late in the podcast for it, but we didn't really talk about the EU versus NA conversation.
We haven't. I'm waiting for it.
I know, dude. That's my bad, dude. I'm like a squirrel sometimes, man. I just like talking, so sometimes I'm just chatting. I'm like, oh shit, I forget. But no, like we haven't talked about the EU versus NA, and I think that that's a big conversation to have actually, because I obviously have a lot of NA. I've been in EU kind of towards the beginning of my streaming. I'm going on a year, obviously, but you were definitely in more EU. I've been in a lot of NA. So, but you do have a perspective of both as well. A little more hands-on as well too. So, I guess I do want to get your perspective, PvP wise. Is there anything big? Not necessarily with the wars. We can talk about that, but let's start with the players and builds. Is there anything big difference that you see between NA and EU? Like, is there like a big thing that kind of stands out, like the way people play? Like the way people play in NA versus EU, or maybe the way the builds look?
Yes. And the one thing that I noticed the most is how selfish NA players are. So selfish and self-centered. It's like there's no camaraderie, there's no goals. All they want to do is be the best. Be the best and be the best. And within the companies, there's just so much battle between the companies. And their goals, well, I mean, we know this, right? Their goals, it was just to be the #1 in the leaderboard, Always. That's what they wanted. They wanted to be the best. They don't want it to be second, but winning the war. No, even if they lost the war, but they were first, they were good, right? So there was a lot of that competition between, you know, even the same company members. Like they will win a war. And you covered this with Plush the other day because Plush has a pretty good understanding about this as well, right? And it's like, yeah, it's just so selfish. Like, and the thing the EU does, it's more team-based. But again, they've been doing that for a living for a whole time. None of them have jobs, so all they do is play video games. No, but EU has always been more sweaty in anything and everything that they do. They don't look at it as you know, how can I be better, or no, they look at it as how can we win, you know, how can we be the best overall. And that's why EU always come on top pretty much in everything. Like NA has single-handedly probably the most skilled players, right? And I'm pretty sure you know this. Like NA has so many skilled players that in a 1v1 scenario probably beat anybody in EU. But EU doesn't care about that. EU cares about the team fights, the composition, and that's why it was a little bit better. At the beginning, just seeing the EU wars because they were like more uniform, more synchronized, and you were like, wow, you're able to do this kind of things. And a lot of the builds started happening in in EU that were like war shaped, right? We weren't seeing this in NA because NA people were not making builds to help other people. In NA, people were making build to just be better. Right? And in the process of being better, you will never make a nice gauntlet, void gauntlet, medium gear, right? Just to buff all of your teammates. In the process of being better, you don't want to be a nice gauntlet blunderbuss because you will never be in the top 5, but you will never die on top of the point, right? So, and this is just a different mindset from these two regions is what, you know, would shape the PvP in two different ways. So it was not that EU players or NA players are better. It's just that they play a different game. Yeah. They play a different game and they have a different goal.
Yeah, we kind of talked to Ploj about that as well. Kind of how like it was like very scoreboardy in NA, and it's like it's kind of what it's hearing. You know, a lot of people are kind of agreeing, and you know, objectively, even a little bit. We talked to Kilash, which is a big company leader over here in the East West Coast, NA in general, and he kind of said similar things. He did kind of say that even when Supple was at its peak, they would have lost in 15 minutes to some of the EU companies.
Oh yeah, it's just because they're teamwork. That was said. It was really just teamwork. And whenever you were talking with Plush, you were asking a lot of questions about Abaton, right? And you were like, you were asking Plush like what happened with Abaton because Abaton was a beast.
Oh yeah,
right.
Abaton was like a super server for EU. It essentially turned into it. It was like out of nowhere,
so
boom.
We made it, dude. We made it work that way. So whenever I was doing all of the EU situation over there, right, I was casting 2 servers. I was in Bari. And I was casting some of the dry tree. I was more into the Bari and not too much in the dry tree. So in Bari, you had Fatality, you had Hot Grills, you had Full Control, and a couple of other companies, right? But these are like the top companies. And Fatality used to have like Everfall for the longest time, and nobody was able to beat them. And then one weekend, Fatality was like, all right, I had enough. And then they turned the whole server yellow. They beat everybody in Bari to the point that other companies started transferring to Abaton, like Hot Grills. And obviously they said that they transferred because there was the server was dying, but in reality, let's be real, they transferred because they couldn't beat Fatality, many companies do in New World, all right? Like Booga Flu wasn't this good freaking 4 months ago, and we know that they had to leave to Valhalla for a situation that Supple didn't let them have any territory in COS. In the same way, because it's a whole cycle, man. It's a whole cycle, right? Before Supple came there, you had Handsome Blogs, you have Just Business, you had the other people, but I was there even before those people were there, right? I was there when the companies that were there never heard of Handsome Blogs. Handsome Blogs started coming later, and then the companies that were dominant there, they were like, holy shit, we cannot compete with these people, so they left. So it's a normal cycle of New World that companies, whenever they cannot beat somebody, they will transfer to another server, right?
Yeah. So now sometimes it works too, but
this is necessary. Yeah. This is necessary because it helps these people not quit the game. because it's either we move server and we keep on playing the game that we love, or we keep on getting hammered over here and not do anything and just lose interest for the game. Because it's okay to lose one, it's okay to lose 2 times, it's okay to lose 3 times. But if you start losing 4, 5, 6, 7, there's going a point that people are like, okay, I had enough. All right, this is not fun. We're not doing anything. We're not accomplishing anything, right? So people get demoralized. So people go to all the servers, and so Fatality dominated Bari. And then now let's jump to Dry Tree. In Dry Tree, you had Bonsai dominating the whole time, right? You had Parabellum that they gave him a little bit of a competition. But I
remember casting some of those wars too myself. It was kind of Para and Bonsai over there on Dry Tree.
That's it. That's it. Para and Bonsai, anybody else was pretty irrelevant. But Para really, really wasn't able to take it, to just beat him. It was good competition, but it was not enough. And you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we know some companies are going to make it inside of the fort, but they're not going to take it. Yep. We know that some companies' fort game is just way beyond. Like we saw Sopo versus Boogerflu today. Phenomenal war, right? They took the 3 points, they went inside of the flag, they did something. But at some point, you start to realize, all right, there's no way that they're doing it. It's just Sopo, their defense is just very strong. Boogerflu needs to try 250% to be able to go in there and take it from them, right? Yeah. So Parabellum was never able to take Bonsai out of the fight. So the conversation of Abaton, it started surging even more, right? And they were like, yo, these people from Bari, they're calling us out, right? They're calling us out, and they want us to go over there to Abaton, where we need to fight. And then Bonsai was like, nah, hell nah. If they want to fight, they come over here and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, a bunch of companies left Bari. Then finally Fatality left Bari. Then Parabellum came to Abaton. And then the last one to get to Abaton was Bonsai. Bonsai was the very, very last to get to Abaton.
I remember they had struggles getting over there too. Like I even talked to Ploj about it. It was like some people didn't want to. It was kind of like they were like the last ones to arrive.
Right, yeah. It's just because it makes sense, right? Whenever you're already dominant in a server and you have all of this income and you're basically going to another server to start from zero, right? Not everybody wants that. That is a big leap, right? But at the end of the day, they did it. And let me tell you the story about Abaton. Willie, do we have time? If you got something else to do, we have episode 2 tomorrow.
Dude, no, I mean, I got time. It is getting a little late for you, boy. I got kids coming up soon, but like I'm down because I do want to talk a little bit about the Abaton. I definitely want to have the EU and NA conversation, and a little of the EU war is definitely, I think, important for especially the community in general, but maybe some people who don't know about it. You know what I mean? Right,
100%. So Abaton, right? Everybody's hyped. Everybody's super happy. The best company of all of Europe's. All in the same server, right? Like the dream. I was telling the people, if you want to make a name for yourself, you come to Abaton and you beat any of these companies and you will immediately be known. Because what is the best way for an NA company to make a name for themselves? Come to COS and beat Sopo. Imagining a company that nobody knows come to NA, beat Sopo. Immediately, Willie, you want to watch every single one of their wars. You put them in your freaking top 10 companies of the year, because who the hell are these people, right?
Yeah.
So that created a lot of competition over there, and like that was the server. And the server was 24/7 PvP. If it was not wars, it was open world. And the war will be over, and people would just like 400 people, let's push it.
It's a wave.
Yeah, dude, and then shit, we got war tomorrow again, And it wasn't never ending. We had like 3-4 wars every single day. So now, with these big companies coming in, you know what happened to the companies that were there before? They were like, damn, we cannot beat these people. So every single one of those companies was like, all right, we out. And they started leaving to Bari and to other servers. And then all of a sudden, Abaton is now full of elitists, right? Yeah. Only the top big dog companies are there. And at the beginning, you had Fatality owning like Morningdale. Then you had Parabellum owning Restless Shore. And then the first war of Fatality versus Parabellum happened. All right? Fatality versus Parabellum. Parabellum had Brightwood, and Fatality was attacking. Yes, they took the war for somebody else. hold on, I don't want to get this wrong, Willie, but it's
Oh,
been
you're
a
fine.
long time.
Hey, I understand because I have a lot of lore myself sometimes that I got to double check myself on. I'm like, okay, this happened, right? Because if not, you know, people are going to be like, dude.
Right. So I'm
It
right
was
here.
this company.
To not get it wrong, right? To not get it wrong, Fatality ended up losing that war. Right, so now you have Fatality, which is the best company in all of Bari, losing to not the best company from Dry Tree, right? So that was a big deal. Everybody's like, wow, maybe Bari wasn't that good after all. You know,
Yeah.
if the best company cannot beat the second company, what do we expect
Yeah,
from...
maybe Dry Tree is just that OP, you know?
Yeah, right. So, you know, and then Bonsai came, and Parabellum was just out of control, Willie. Parabellum, I don't know if they got some steroids in the plane, you know, in the plane travel to freaking Abaton. When Parabellum got to Abaton, they put their dick on the table, excuse me, and they were like, we own this. And they started taking territories left and right. Parabellum has always been green. Bonsai has been purple, right? Then Bonsai came a little bit earlier. I mean, later, whenever Parabellum already had pretty much like a foundation set up in there, a couple of territories. And they started having wars. They started having wars against each other, and we could see that it was very even, very even. But Parabellum was always doing a tiny bit better than Bonsai, and a tiny bit better. And none of the other companies from Bari, they didn't even close. All right, I'm gonna say this aloud.
Yeah.
Nobody from Bari had it. They thought they were good. They weren't. All right.
Damn.
Yeah. No. My
how it
stream knows
goes.
me for this.
Yeah. I mean, how it goes. Yeah.
And every server
Yeah.
think they have the best PvPers. Every server think they have the best PvPers. It was
Yeah.
like, oh, in my server we do this. If I want to fight those people, we beat them.
Oh, I get that all the time
sure.
on my stream too. Yeah.
Yeah, come
Yeah.
over here and show me what you got. They come over here and they cannot take 1 point, right? And they were like, all right, maybe we're not as good as we thought we were, right? So every
Or there's some
server
cope,
think-
like we didn't bring enough of our soldiers. We didn't. Not enough people wanted to transfer. We're missing our caller.
yeah.
You know.
There's always something, right? Oh, this is a 14th roster. It's not our main roster.
We're quitting anyway. I don't give. We're retiring.
So the competition was just the competition was booming. Bari wanted to make a name for themselves, but they just couldn't really. That's what happened. They just couldn't. And like I said, it was pumped. It was so full of action for a solid month and a half, 2 months. And then the Bari companies, right? They started losing every singular war against Parabellum and Bonsai. Like, there was no way out, to the point that they started merging with each other. They were like, okay, listen, we gotta do something, right? Either we leave the server with the tail between our legs,
Yeah.
or we actually try to do something. So we had companies changing faction from Bari, right, and mixing each other to see if they can battle against these Dry Tree monsters, but it wasn't even close. Dude, dude, whole new level, man. They weren't even close. So, long story short, everybody from Bari ended up leaving. They were like, "Fuck this, I'm out." All right, we're not that good. We're gonna go back to Bari, which it did. You know, to this point, some of them are back in Bari. And what happened in Avaton? Well, now it's the same shit. Parabellum versus Bonsai, right? Obviously, now there's no PvEers because all of the PvEers left when these big companies got here. And now the map is almost dying because a full server, all of the companies from Bari, now they're gone. So now pretty much we only have 2 real companies in the server, Parabellum and Bonsai. There's no farmers. Everything was mega expensive. And obviously we know where this is going. This is pretty soon
turning to
the death of a server, right? So that's pretty much how it is. And so they keep going at each other. Parabellum versus Bonsai. Parabellum versus Bonsai. Parabellum versus Bonsai. Until one day happened. Parabellum beat Bonsai. And that day was historical, Willie.
I remember catching that. I didn't catch it live, but I mean, the first thing that happened when I turned on my stream was like, did you see Para? Did you see Para beat Bonsai? Like, I remember I caught the VOD. Like, people were begging me. They're like, yo, check this out. Bonsai finally lost.
Yeah, man, that day was history because it was finally, these people been working for months, right? And like I'm telling you, every time they just got a little better. Like the first time they got 2 points. Then like a week later, they got 3 points. And then in the other week, they made it inside of the 4. While Bonsai wasn't even to make it inside of the 4. So we were like, okay,
It's
What's
slowly
happening to
growing in the
Bonsai?
trajectory is definitely looking like Parabellum's getting there.
Yeah, it was like, yo, what's happened to Bonsai? And so Parabellum beat Bonsai, really. But let me tell you, I don't know what happened to them. I don't know if they got too cocky, they got too comfortable, but it didn't even last a week. It didn't
Damn.
even last, dude. It didn't last a
What
week.
the hell?
So either Bonsai got their shit together, they had like a real meeting. They were like, everybody on
All
deck.
hands on deck.
Yeah, all hands on deck. Everybody
Yeah.
coming. Yeah, and then they went back to Dry Tree because obviously Abaton was dying, and after Dry Tree got Parabellum and Bonsai back, well, that was the death of Abaton right there. The death of Abaton was caused by Parabellum and Bonsai being too good and nobody else even close, to the point that they all of them had to leave. And then Bonsai and Parabellum obviously left, and that was it. That was the story and the history of Abaton, how it became the best server to 2 months later being a desolate. And that happens a lot.
Oh,
Whenever companies are too strong and the companies that are there, they see that they cannot do anything against them, they leave the server. But going back to what we were saying before, now one company cannot own the whole map. So now people are not moving server as much because even the people that are not that good with the double declare, they still have a chance to steal those lands, right? And yeah, you might not keep that land for a whole week or 2 weeks maybe, but you get a little bit of income out of that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
and
it's a little something.
Yeah, it's a little something. It's way better than they had before, right?
Oh yeah, nothing,
So-
and just shell companies owning every territory. Now that it's like at least got a little piece of something.
Right, a little piece of something, and this is good. And we call it some companies, oh, you're just a double declare. I was like, well, that's how it was designed. God damn it, you know. Here's the other thing. I don't know what the problem is with New World with calling people out for doing the right thing. You know, like I understand that fire mages, all they think of is stat padding, but that is literally how the class was designed. The class was designed to do as much damage as you possibly can. Zero utility, zero nothing. Your job is to do damage. You sit there, you do damage, you don't do anything else, right? And then
You're
people go
pumping
like,
clumps, dude.
and then people go like, oh, you stat pattern, filthy stat pattern. How dare you do damage? Get out of here. And they were like, and then they making people feel bad for doing the things that were designed to be done. Like the double declarers are getting so much hate. Oh, they're like, oh, you guys are just a bunch of double declarers. You guys have no respect. It was like, what the hell are you talking about respect? You guys wouldn't even give me a chance. It was if I was fighting fair, you know.
Like, of course I'm gonna try and take your stuff. I think people forget, like, even at the beginning of New World, like, if you saw there was a double time, bro, it was like, okay, I'm gonna try and get these guys at at the same time, and maybe they don't defend this one as much. You know, like it's still the same concept. It's just easier to pull off nowadays.
Yo, 100%, and it's giving the opportunity to the company that are not that strong to at least do those things. You know, just. I think it's good for the server, but it's not good for the players.
I feel you.
Because the war loggers, they're just like, God damn it, we're losing territory to this double declared pieces of shit.
Yeah, like these guys don't deserve anything. How dare they?
Yeah, right. Like, oh shit.
They don't deserve
I wish I had
nothing.
4 accounts.
I need 6. That's it. I'm buying another. Dude, I know, dude. Hey, like how it goes, man. I mean, it is interesting. It's funny to hear that EU, even though it's a different region, it has the same similar effects as NA. I mean, it really does. Like, it really is a cycle. We did see Themyscira over here, but man, that was a very quick-lived super server. That unfortunately, that thing died fast. I mean, it was about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. Like, essentially what happened to Avalon, but in a way shorter time span. As soon as all the big companies came over there, all the PvEers were like, fuck this, I'm leaving. I don't want to fight these guys all day. So all the PvEers left, and then, it was a bunch of war loggers. No, like people were pushing, but not necessarily pushing as hard as you needed to, and it just kind of, and the market went to shit, and immediately really just kind of happened. Like, it's just funny to see that in EU was kind of same thing. And it's funny to hear too the sentiment that, in EU you have, I've talked to you, I've talked to Kilash, I've talked to Ploj, and it seems like most people agree in the EU is a little bit more competitive and better than NA. So, I mean, I don't know. Look, I've talked to a lot of people at this point, not even just people who are necessarily a little more, in the EU scene. A lot of people do say that. Obviously, I still think, personally, I still think there's a lot of good comp in NA. I got to rep my boys out there, but I do think that I wish there was a system, man. I wish there was some type of, some type of PTR, something to get these squads together and fight each other. I just think that would be super sick. Obviously, the future for me for PvP is a whole bunch of bells and whistles, right? In my opinion, just, it starts with the cross server OPR, and then it turns into instance wars and new maps and things, and even ways for things to happen like EU and NA. And I feel like there's so much potential. And I think that's why I still love this game. And I still think that New World and the devs can make it happen. I'm not losing hope. I got a lot of love for the game. As much as I got it, we got to give it some criticism. Look, it may change, it changed my life and all that good stuff. But if you love something, you got to be honest with it. At least that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, man, you got to be rough too. You cannot, you need to tell them how you feel about it, right?
Yeah. And that's why I never try to hold back anything. I always try to keep it real and just like, hey, it is what it is. I think New World, honestly, though, even though the PvP, I'm hoping we get maybe some love in between these 6 months. I think it still is a lot better than what we've seen. It is not at that 300 viewers at night on Twitch and stuff that we used to see. So, I mean, obviously in a great light, but I'm not going to lie. It is getting late for your boy here. The kid's waking up in a couple hours. So I'm sorry. I do got to get out of here.
Let's do it again. I want to keep on going.
Bro, look, honestly, like, look, man, I feel bad because I feel like a lot of the other podcasts were a little more structured, but bro, I feel like, I could chat with you for a long time.
Because we are so alike.
Yeah, I know,
very,
man.
Very
yeah.
alike.
Yeah, I think I seriously, I really mean that too. Like, if I don't stop now, I'm never going to stop, bro. Because honestly, as much as we have the chat and stuff, it's really nice to talk to some other people. It's really nice to kind of get to know some other people and stuff, make some friends. And it's really cool. I definitely consider you a friend after today, man. It's nice chatting with you, dude. Seriously. Honestly, I think, working together and being friends can only be beneficial, not only for the personal life, for having the friendships and, but also, even when it comes to streaming and stuff. So I do want to give the mic off to you, Trick. Guys, this has been TorikuToriku. You know him, but Trick, I want you to go ahead and get the mic, man. Anything you want to let the people on YouTube, people in my chat, your chat, let them know before you get on out of here, brother.
Well, let's say that this was the introduction. For the next one, we're gonna have the good questions. Let's talk about the embedded on the next one. How about that? To give it, yeah, because I know some people actually have some questions about that. All right, let's get into the nitty gritty that you guys really wanted to get. Probably like in 2-3 weeks from now. Obviously, I don't want to, because probably you already have plans on who you're gonna invite next, right? So
yeah.
yeah. Let's get into all of those things. But really, again, man, I obviously our competition and that thing is long gone. We are too much alike to be, to not work together. Like you said, it's better working together than not working together. We help each other grow even better if we help each other rather than try to compete against each other and talk. Dude, I remember many people coming to my stream, "You're not as good as Wiilly," and I'm like,
oh,
no.
What? Yo, that's not cool at all,
yeah,
bro.
Dude, your boys would do that shit all the time. And then I was like, no, of course I'm not as good as Wiilly, but we're different. We're just
There's different styles, man. No,
yeah,
that's kind of crazy.
Get that.
That's kind of crazy for me to hear because, like, honest to God, man, it's always been love. Like I said, man. I mean,
these people love you so much. These people love you so much that anybody that is like a thread, they were out there. They were like, right? And I was like,
I'm sorry, dude.
No. And sometimes I wonder, I was like, damn, is this what this was like before, right? Like back when we were doing our thing, right? I was like, God damn, is that how his community is?
No.
And obviously it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close to that.
Yeah.
And people Go ahead.
No, I mean, you go ahead, man. I feel bad that had to happen, dude.
No, man, no worries. I mean, get out of here, Willie. So I will tell them. I will tell them. No, yeah, of course. We're just so different, you know. We do, but the thing is, Willie, that we are different content creators. But again, we think. You have no idea how much we think alike, Willie. One night I was talking to my wife. I was like, I want to play World of Warcraft. And the very next day, Willie, you were like, trying my World of Warcraft. And I was like, God damn it. I cannot do this now. If I do this now, people are going to say that I'm copying Willie.
But see, we could have, because wouldn't it have been hype as shit if you were like, yo, let's make some characters together?
No, exactly.
Like,
You see?
dude, I quit playing WoW because like I was getting bored. Like, bro, if you're like, yo, let's make some WoW characters and just fuck around and level up, like, dude, I would have been like,
dope,
let's
dude.
get it, you know? Like, I mean, I don't know. I just kind of do whatever. Kind of like, you know, kind of like my tattoos, bro. I just kind of, I don't really, I know it sounds weird. I know a lot of people say like they're like extreme deep thinkers. I think like that, but really, man, I kind of just send it. You know, I'll wake up one day and be like, yeah, this sounds good. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, dude, but you know, it's been really, it has been awesome getting to know you a little bit, man. And I didn't want to press you too much on the embed. Like I said, it's a hustle at the end of the day, man.
Dude,
I don't want you to feel like
even.
I was trying to press you on that,
I wasn't.
dude.
No, Willie, no, I wasn't. And
Okay.
listen, I wasn't trying to avoid the question or anything. It's just that I wanted to cover the previous question to the fullest, right? Because I don't want to leave any holes. Because,
I'm a squirrel
like I said,
sometimes, man. Dude, look, I bounce around occasionally. So, yeah. Again, you know, it's all love at the end of the day, man. I don't want you to feel like that. I understand everybody's trying to get their bread. And you know what, dude? I mean, honestly, you never know. It might be something that I might try. And I said on Twitter the other day, I'm like, man, look, maybe it's time. Like, I don't even know. But, you know, we're all trying to eat out here, you know, support our fans and stuff. So,
I'm
you know,
not
you love to
embedded,
see
by
it,
the
dude.
way. For the people that think I'm I'm not like officially embedded or anything like that. It's not like I'm embedded. It's just that I know the person of New World Database and how it works. Here, I'm gonna tell you very fast and simple so people don't have that question, right? So how it works is they basically have like a team, like a people that, like, for example, when Baggins will be on, Baggins will be the one that will be embedded, right?
Yeah.
And then when Baggins will get off, they have a person that will take that place, right? And sometimes that place will be empty because some people will like take days off and all of a sudden
On different schedules, you know?
Right,
I mean, different
schedules.
schedules.
And a while back, remember when I was telling you that I went to the U stuff, I became very good friends with Baggins. I became very good friend with Baggins. Dude, I didn't even know what embedded was until the whole embedded thing started.
I didn't know either. I didn't know either. I didn't even
know.
know.
What the hell is embedded? I was like, what the shit is this?
I swear to God, I didn't know either. Like, once I started talking about that, I was like, I mean, some of it was like, okay, well, this kind of makes sense. You know, like, you know, low key, I was like, okay, well, this kind of makes a little sense. But like, I didn't even know either, dude. I was right there with you.
I didn't even know that was a thing. So I became friends with Baggy, didn't even know that he was embedded or anything like that, right? And so the person that runs New World Database is very good friends with Baggy, and of course they work together to keep the website alive, right?
Yeah.
And one day I noticed that the guy that runs New World Database is, you know, in like Baggin's stream, and he told me, hey, you know, I watch your stream every once in a while. I was like, word? I was like, yo, you do? He was like, yeah, I do. And so we kept talking and we became good friends because he will have like crazy schedule. So whenever Baggins was not streaming, he would jump on my stream and just chill. So he just liked the atmosphere there. And I was talking to, like, we talk on the side. We talk about the game a lot. Believe it or not, the guy's a huge nerd about New World.
Oh, I'm sure. I
right?
mean, if you're doing anything New World related, like if you're like making sites and content and stuff, you gotta love the game. Like I'm a firm believer that, you know, your passion will shine through. Like you gotta love something to be able to make things about it, you know?
Right. So the guy is a super nerd. So we will talk about things. I'm a very big theory crafter and meta builder and stuff like that, like the flamethrower. You know how that worked out. and so I just talked to him about things in the game, like, yo, what's up with this? Is this supposed to work this way? Can we do some research about this? And the other day I was telling him, I was like, hey, yo, boy, I'm about to do a subathon. And you know what he said? He was like, do it. I will put a freaking, what is it called? A secret lab chair. I was like, what?
No,
He
that's
was like,
awesome.
And he goes like, yeah, do it. I will give away a secret lab chair. And on top of that, I will put you that day. I will put you in New World database that day, which is, it was
Well, hey,
like yesterday.
I mean,
Today.
that's cool. I mean, that's cool. And especially, I mean, I mean, I think my thing is, and, we've had a lot of conversation on the stream about it. I don't, I think most people who, do have the embeds or whatever are pretty, I do think that they do a lot for the community. I think that's a big thing. I really do. I honestly stand by that, because the thing is like, there was a lot of heat on Baggins and some others. And it's like, at the end of the day, they are out here. They're always out here. They're always streaming. They're always providing answers to questions and things like that. And I think that's important, being a face, being a voice, being helpful. And, personally, I'm a fan of positivity. I always try my best to be positive. But trying to provide those good vibes, man, it's like, why not? So I don't know. I mean, it's something that I don't know if I haven't necessarily been approached by anyone big or anything, but it is interesting at the end of the day, but it's cool to see that, at the end of the day, man, I'm happy that you've been having a successful subathon, dude. I always know how awesome. I mean, it's always such a good feeling when you put on an event and it goes well, like, it's like, man, it feels great.
Yeah. Shit, I don't know where I was. I forget.
Dude, look, we're almost at 2:00 at night. You're like what? You're like subhuman. You're like 5 hours. You're like 5 days into streaming. Like, probably haven't even sleep.
Here, Wiilly, I've been live for 61 hours and 31 minutes.
Yo, that's wild. I'm thinking about, we're about to hit a lot of milestones on the stream. I'm thinking about doing a subathon for my 1 year as well, here in March.
Oh, hells yeah, dude.
I haven't done one yet, man. I haven't done one yet. I've done a 24, well, I've attempted 2 24-hour streams. I've done, obviously I love doing my drunk streams. What can I say? I've done a lot of streams, though. I haven't done a subathon yet. So, I don't know, maybe something that's definitely in the future for sure. I'm definitely trying to organize it, but yeah, it's pretty cool. But no, I mean, I think that's a good answer to the question, man. I just know a lot of people, some people have been saying it in my chat and stuff, but it doesn't, like I said, I mean, you said we're even on different times. It doesn't necessarily affect me, because also I do think the kind of content that I do is like, people are going to come, like, I've been doing it for almost a year now.
Yeah.
You know how it goes. We're out here 6-7 days a week, like, it is what it is. But
and the loyal boys never leave. you build, it's crazy, you do build a family.
It is a family here.
And just because they watch other streamers, those are your boys. And I know your boys the same way that we have our boys. And it's not about who has more. It's just about having the boys. Because it's, again, we're so lucky to be where we are, man.
Oh, yeah.
And having all these people that look up to us and like, your stream makes my day. And whenever people say those things, you know how it makes you feel, Wiilly.
Oh yeah.
Dude, it's like everything is worth it. You're like, holy crap.
Yeah, man.
You saying those things, it means the world to me. And when people was like, yo, thank you so much for doing this, and I was like, holy shit, it's worth it.
Dude, I get so emotional, man. Like, and I swear, none of that shit's faked either. Because, like,
not at all.
Like, dude, I mean, again, not obviously. This is what happens when I make friends, man. I want to get deep, but coming from my background and stuff, man, I've just, again, I don't really talk about it much, but people really, I've been through a lot in my life. I've been through a whole lot, and it's like, I've tried so many things. I'm pushing 30 years old, and to feel like I'm finally good at something. It's like to feel like I'm, I worked. Pretty much the only thing I had to my name was I'm a Walmart worker. It's like to feel like people telling me I'm good at something, and people saying that, man. It really just. It really tugs at I could cry, right? It tugs at my heartstrings, because so many times, growing up, and it's like you hear your shit, you're bad at this, you don't amount to anything. Eventually you start feeling it sometimes. And it's like, to finally have people in your corner, it's just amazing, man. Really? It really is, dude.
I remember the night that somebody came into your stream. I think he gave you like 800 subs or something like that.
Dude, that was the start of December. It was fucking insane.
I remember because somebody came into my stream and they were like, somebody just gifted 800 subs. It was 800, right?
It was something of that nature. I called it the Clash of the Titans. But
right.
Yeah.
And somebody told me he's crying right now. And I was like, let's do it. So I opened your stream, and when I saw you, I was like, I know exactly how he's feeling.
Yeah.
Because I remember getting one night like 150 subs, and I fucking broke down because just I was in the military and all of that stuff, but I never found like my calling, right? And I never found like true friendship. I have brothers and I had the military peers, but nothing felt even close to this. And it was just so emotional knowing that people out there that don't even know you can support you so much. And sometimes you're like, even my blood family doesn't do this kind of things for me.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's like I really hope, and I know you understand, man. It's like you just really hope that the people that support you really understand what that support means, like it's like you can't say it enough, like I really feel like I can't say it enough,
yeah,
dude.
Sometimes like, dude, what do you want me to say? I've been saying thank you for like an hour,
but I can't, like, because it's still so unbelievable. I tell everybody every day is just like every day's a dream, every day's a dream, man. You just never think these things that happen, and when things like that happen, I got somebody in the chat even just dropping a 5-bomb right now. It's just
there
like,
you go,
it's just like, I mean, seriously, it's just one of those things where it just makes you fucking emotional because
man.
A year ago ain't nobody out here, it's a ghost town, and it's like to think that this community pulls together and comes through. It's a blessing every day, man. It really is. But yeah.
It is wonderful, bro. We can keep on talking.
I know, man. We gotta stop.
I want to talk about so many other things.
I know, dude. We definitely got to make this happen again.
100%.
Whether or not, and I know you said you and Baggins might be having a cast too. Look, man.
But it's different.
Maybe
Maybe
get me on there. We can chat there a little bit too. But yeah, this is what I like. It's a little more low key, just kind of talking it out, chilling.
It's a more It's not like you ask me. It doesn't feel like an interview. It feels like we are here chilling, right?
That's
like
the goal. Yeah, that's the goal, dude.
So Baggins and I, it's gonna be like your morning coffee show, right?
I see.
Like we just gonna talk about the game, like things about the game, your daily things. It's just like the news about like New World. We're not gonna go about like wars, and we're not gonna go anything about like the things that you do, right? Which this is why I'm telling you, keep doing this because this is just so good for you, dude. This is such a nice
I would
idea.
love to get more people on here too. That's the thing. And it's awesome that you reached out too, man, because it's like, you're a big face in New World too. It's like, it's really awesome. I'm glad that people are supporting me and wanting to come on because it's like, I know I'm not, I know I'm big, but I'm also not like, I'm not like the big alpha Chad. A lot of these streamers and stuff have been in the game for 3 or 4 years. I'm still out here, trying to, fight and claw and make it a possibility every single day. And it's like, I think this is something that I would like to do and talk to more people and just kind of, and just kind of vibe out, man, get to know people. Cause I feel like I want to put those real faces and the real personalities to the names, man.
Hells yeah, brother.
But yeah, we do gotta end it. I do gotta end it, man, because dude, I'm not gonna lie, I literally could talk all night, man. So guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, remember to like and subscribe. Seriously, much love to Trick. I'm gonna be ending the YouTube segment before we keep talking because we can't stop. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much. Remember to share this around, support your boy on other platforms as well, not just Switch. And also remember, shout out to Trick, man. Seriously, he's got a Twitch. Follow him there. It'll be in the description. Follow him there. Make it happen. If you're in stream, make sure that happens as well. Nothing but love for him. And that is going to be ending the video.